Delirium by Lauren Oliver. Chapter 1. The most dangerous sickness are those that make us believe we are well. Proverb 42, the book of Shh. It has been 64 years since the president and the consortium identified love as a disease, and 43 since the scientists perfected a cure. Everyone else in my family has had the procedure already. My older sister, Rachel, has been disease-free for 9 years now. She's been safe from love for so long, she says she can't even remember its symptoms. I'm scheduled to have my procedure in exactly 95 days, on September 3rd, my birthday. Many people are afraid of the procedure. Some people even resist, but I'm not afraid. I can't wait. I would have done it tomorrow if I could, but you have to be at least 18, sometimes a little older, before the scientists will cure you. Otherwise, the procedure won't work correctly. People end up with brain damage, partial paralysis, blindness, or worse. I don't like to think that I'm still walking around with a disease running through my blood. Sometimes I swear I can feel it writhing in my veins, like something spoiled, like sour milk. It makes me feel dirty. It reminds me of children throwing tantrums. It reminds me of resistance, of diseased girls dragging their nails on the pavement, tearing out their hair, their mouths dripping spit. And of course, it reminds me of my mother. After the procedure, I will be happy and safe forever. That's what everyone says, the scientists and my sister and Aunt Carol. I will have the procedure, and then I will be paired with a boy that the evaluators choose for me. In a few years, we'll get married. Recently, I've started having dreams about my wedding. In them, I'm standing under a white canopy of flowers in my hair. I'm holding hands with someone, but whenever I turn to look at him, his face blurs, like a camera losing focus, and I can't make out any features. But his hands are cool and dry, and my heart is beating steadily in my chest. And in my dream, I know it will always beat out the same rhythm. Not jump or skip or whirl or go faster, just womp, womp, womp. Until I'm dead, safe and free from pain. We learned that in the old days, the dark days, people didn't realize how deadly a disease love was. For a long time, they even viewed it as a good thing, something to be celebrated and pursued. Of course, that's one of the reasons it's so dangerous. It affects your mind so you cannot think clearly or make rational decisions about your own well-being. That's symptom number 12, listed as the Amor Deliria Nervosa section of the 12th edition of the Safety, Health, and Happiness Handbook, or the Book of Shh, as we call it. Instead, people back then named other diseases: stress, heart disease, anxiety, depression, hypertension, insomnia, bipolar disorder, never realizing that these were in fact only symptoms that in the majority of causes could be traced back to the effects of Amor Deliria Nervosa. Of course, we aren't yet totally free of the deliria in the United States. Until the procedure has been perfected, until it has been made safe for under 18s, we will never be totally protected. It still moves around us with invisible, sweeping tentacles, choking us. I've seen countless uncured dragged to their procedures, so racked and ravaged by love that they would rather tear out their eyes or try to impale themselves on the barbed wire fences outside of the laboratories than be without it. Several years ago, on the day of her procedure, one girl managed to slip from her restraints and find her way to the laboratory roof. She dropped quickly without screaming. For days afterward, they broadcast the image of the dead girl's face on television to remind us the dangers of the deliria. Her eyes were open, and her neck was twisted at an unnatural angle. But from the way her cheek was resting against the pavement, you might otherwise think she had laid down to take a nap. Surprisingly, there was very little blood, just a small, dark trickle at the corners of her mouth. 95 days, and then I'll be safe. I'm nervous, of course. I wonder whether the procedure will hurt. I want to get it over with. It's hard to be patient. It's hard not to be afraid while I'm still uncured, though so far the deliria hasn't touched me yet. Still, I worry. They say that in the old days, love drove people to madness. That's bad enough. The Book of Shh also tells stories of those who died because of love lost or never found, which is what terrifies me the most. The deadliest of all deadly things. It kills you both when you have it and when you don't.